Hi, I'm Karceno.
Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Karceno and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them. Woo! What's up, my late night people? Let's get it in. 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 Oh, I hope your turkey day was very nice. So however you chose to celebrate today. I need water, water, and more water. Michael, it's been a crazy, crazy day. I must say, it's been a crazy, crazy, crazy day. Crazy in a good way. I could have won some money today, but the Green Bay Packers screwed up my night. So that didn't happen. Yeah, we were 100% on the level. So that's where the energy level was about us being like 100% not where everyone else should have been. Man, it was off the chain. So hopefully all y'all had a great, outstanding day. We're going to get into this. We're just getting the Patreons involved right now. Oh, they said Drake turned into Jupac and stuff. Yeah, I heard that. He turned into Jupac. No, the way I saw it was different. Again, it's just one of those things, man. When you see somebody and they put Not Like Us together, and you start seeing these crazy lawsuits and all these things that just don't make any sense, and you can't put your finger on it. Absolutely. Certified lawyer boy. Well, that's good. Now let's take you to how it went down.
Black people don't believe that Michael Jackson died the way they say. There's a bunch of people that we don't believe died the way they say that they died. So it's not a cop-out.
I have questions.
Go ahead. Wait, before you go,
Listen to the Joe
do you
Budden
guys
panel.
want to hear from Grandpa Rick?
No.
She's a Kendrick hater.
Well, we're not talking about Kendrick right now, right?
Oh well, she loves Drake.
I would love to hear from
Yeah,
Grandpa
I mean, we
Rick.
She loves Drake.
Yeah, I would too. Like, I do think her opinion is going to be pretty good. So
Yeah,
I
you
All
don't
right,
agree.
but
want
go
to
ahead.
have
What's your
that.
question, L?
When you guys talk about independent, aren't they still kind of connected to the machine? Like the people aren't really truly independent. They just have like a different deal, correct?
No, we talking about truly independent people, not the people in partnerships that are claiming to be independent.
Got it.
Like label partnerships, I'm saying. You can have your partnerships. Independent is independent. Drake don't need nobody. He don't need nobody. He got a phone. He got a phone and talent. That's it. The end. 400 mil a year.
That's true. I forgot Rick was OVO. I definitely want to hear what you got to say.
Oh, Grandpa Rick.
Hey, Joe, I feel like you're stepping on the product right now because I wasn't even done with that amazing podcast you guys dropped on the Patreon. I was in the middle of enjoying it and I saw you were on the stage.
You'll get back to it. It's there for you. It is
I
there
know,
for
but I
you
was
to
just,
listen at your liberty, girl.
I know, but I was like stopping because I had to react. I had to tell my sister. I had to play some parts. She's very upset for the record. She's a $5 tier person, and she was very triggered. I told her she had to pay that extra $5.
Yeah. Hey, I left it on the 10. I was going to leave the 10 people out, but I left it there.
Joe.
Yes.
Okay, last comment, but I just want to say this. The same way people are saying Drake can't go independent, it's like they want him stuck in the major system, the same way fans want you in a system like Joe Rogan or other podcasts. It's the same thing. They want you in a place where they're comfortable seeing you.
Where they understand it.
Who understands it?
The fans or whoever it wants you to stay in that box.
Yeah, but what is that? Why do they want you trapped in a system where we know it's not advantageous to the artist?
Well, everybody don't know that.
We don't know that.
People don't know
Yeah,
that.
And I can tell you that a lot of times, from a fan perspective, it's not from a creative perspective, we still assume that the major or the institution is more stable and more legitimate. Like I was telling you yesterday, Ian, off air, like I stayed on TV way longer than I needed to because I still believed that if people saw me on CNN, I would be more legitimate than if they saw me on YouTube. And people will be like, yo, why are you not on TV no more? Why are you on YouTube? And it's the same thing with music and everything else, is that there are people who be like, yo, if Joe Budden were on this podcast network or on this thing that's legible to me, then I know he's good. I know the product is good, and I think he's doing better. A lot of times people really be thinking they rooting for you by keeping you in the matrix instead of pulling you out.
In the box. Yo, my God. You are killing that point.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said
100%.
that.
So it is. It's a way to keep you in a box they're comfortable with. But the second you get out of that box and break free of it, it's like now you've downgraded, but your business and your entire infrastructure could have grown 100x, but no one.
And nobody would know that.
No, as the only person who's on this stage who said I don't think he could do independent, I just want to say that was a gross miscalculation of what my reasoning was. I don't think the same thing for Joe that I think for Drake. I think that Drake has been spoiled and been handheld by the industry. So when a person is spoiled like that, if you just let them go on their own, it could lead to devastating effects. Like Joe said, it's either in your blood or it's not. And he doesn't give me rebel. He gives me set it up for me and I'm gonna come in and do my thing. So it could be not the best idea for that type of person.
If that's the case, why are they fighting so hard to keep him?
There you go. Good point.
Yeah, because he definitely his rebel doesn't scream out loud, but it's definitely there.
I was gonna say, I feel like Drake feels like he's been rebelling. He raps a lot about how he don't talk to the label. I just show up with the music and they pay me. I don't have to deal with them. I'm not folding to him. In his mind, I think this whole time he has been rebelling. Now there's a whole
the label ain't there to be your friend. They don't care if you never speak to them. As long as you get the hand in that crack and then we get to bust it down, we ain't got to talk.
I feel like this beef says otherwise. The way that not only the label, but everybody in the industry from media on down has jumped on board to conspire against him, it reeks of hurt feelings. These people are not happy at the way that Drake has been running this shit. And it's mainly because he's not buddy, friendly, and he's fucking y'all wives and girlfriends. Yes, he's doing that as well. So people are just very hurt. It's giving hurt and miserable.
I also have one other thing. I think that what they're really scared of at the label side is Drake is at a place now where if you keep letting him build this repertoire and this catalog, in 2 seconds he becomes more valuable than the entire Universal Music
Absolutely.
infrastructure, and
Yep.
he's going to end up owning everyone else's catalog, putting Lucian out of business, and creating a world of shitstorm for everyone in that building that's
Ian.
fleecing their pockets.
Ian, I love that point. My question to you is, if that happens, you don't think nobody would want to put hands and feet or something else in him?
The big facts.
Sure, yeah, I think people would want to, but at a certain point.
And you think nobody would do that for close to $1 trillion? No?
No, I think people would want to, but I also think the guy who's worth more than $1 trillion has more power
He's
than the guy
tangible,
who's
Ian.
scared of losing his job. He's what?
He can be touched. I mean, it's not like he's, look at him. You can see that there are things people can do to end him if they want to. And they are showing him. And you can see it.
But they're not ending him. This is a facade. Stop saying that. That is so
They're
offensive
giving
to
him
who he
room to
is.
breathe.
Have you heard any of that music this summer?
Who
They are
cares
ending
about
him.
that music? I want to tell you guys something. If he never puts out another song ever again in life, his catalog is still bigger than anybody's
Any
that's ever
competition.
existed. Period.
Wake
Who
it up.
owns that
Just
catalog?
stop. He owns it.
He owns
Yes.
it.
That's
Stop.
the other
And
part.
Well, no,
Wait, slow down.
Hold
We
on.
gotta
Slow down.
stop.
Not- all right, great. He owns it, right? We still don't know what that means for Universal's participation in that catalog.
Sure.
15 years from what I heard.
What do you
Right.
mean by that?
What'd you
What does
say,
that
Ian?
mean?
15
I
years from
said-
what I heard. I floated the little idea. Hey, why not just bring him over to Meta and let y'all launch our platform through him? We tried.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
any
well,
of them would
15
give him $1 billion. He can't.
Easily. He can't
Wait,
walk
I'm
Ian,
away
why
sorry,
did
Joe.
they say
Can you
that
tell me
they
what
tried?
you
What
meant
did
by
they
that?
say?
Can we go back? What do you
The-
mean by what does that mean for?
I'm saying, L, you could own the cupcake. If I got a contract that say I get to eat most of the cupcake every day
In perpetuity.
Exactly.
for the rest
until
of
you
life,
pay back that 400 mil.
then it don't matter that you own the cupcake.
But
That's what I
Joe,
was
but
just about
Joe,
to say.
Okay.
hold on. Can I say something? If that was true, there is no reason to keep renegotiating. That's my point. That's not true. He's not stuck in the way you think he's stuck. He's
Wait, I'm not
stuck
calling him stuck. 1 and 2, UMG. We ain't heard a peep about them trying to renegotiate.
because you wouldn't hear about that because it's too big. It's way too, and it has a trickle down effect to every other artist that's trying to renegotiate their deal under Lucian. So you're not going to hear about that because then every little artist is going to think that they can get more than they deserve, and it's going to create a headache at the Universal infrastructure. Period.
If what you were saying is correct, there would be no renegotiation. They would hand him the extra money he's asking for.
To
That
keep him
depends on
quiet.
what.
It would just be
That
over.
depends on what they're asking for from the Drake team. There could be things.
Well, we working on rumors right now.
Of course, this is speculation, but what I'm saying is it could be bigger than a cash ask. It could be, hey, Lucian, I appreciate everything you're offering me. I'll accept the 600 million in cash, but what you're not giving me that I really want is 20% equity in UMPG
Never gonna
and
happen.
UMG. And
That's what he's asking
Yeah,
for,
never.
though.
I'm just
That's what he
saying that's what it
deserves, to be
could be,
clear.
and
If
it is
he's
what he
bringing in
deserves.
all the checks the
Universal
way
give
y'all
him
even
that.
admitting he is, and this is why I feel like this is a culmination of your entire podcast show. From 2018 on up, you've been talking about creators' equity, owning your own. And I get that that's part of your resentment for Drake because it does feel like he just took the checks. He didn't try to fight. He didn't try to fight the fight. I get that piece. But I think I would expect a little more empathy from you, Joe, because it takes that moment, that wake up. He's having his wake up call moment. It just took him all this time because he was always on top. I don't think
agree.
it's over. I think he can
I
still
agree.
do the wake up. He can still, and then who better than Drake? It would have to be Drake to do it. Who else could do it if not him?
That's right. That's right. It doesn't mean I
Right.
agree with his music right now. It's just the truth has to be put out there. Otherwise, you're just playing off of speculation the whole time. Like this guy is the one guy who could knock over the building.
But he's
Rick, I'm not all the way against that. I'm not all the way against that at all. Actually, that's a best case scenario. It just don't look like we are near
We
that.
got to root for it.
It looks like an emotional reaction compounded by emotional reactions. I read through the thing. It don't sound like you have the it don't sound like you have to take the industry down smoking gun in there. What really would have done it was him taking his value away at the right time and making him crumble.
We can't go back. He
Wait
didn't
a
know.
minute. You
He
don't
didn't
you
know
don't
then.
think
He
But
that
knows
that's why
now.
it
Hold on, wait
might
a
be
minute.
too late, because
Hold on,
you
I
can't
disagree
do
with
that when
that.
the crown is being actively taken away from you. This is bad timing. You can't do that right now. It's not your place to do that. Really, at this point, you should have done that
Why
when you
you
were
swear to
battling
God?
for the.
But she's right. We can't rewind time.
Wait a minute, Joe. You said you didn't see a smoking gun, but in the petition, the smoking gun is not supposed to be in the petition. It's the evidence that he gets if the court grants him that petition that would have the smoking gun in it. So isn't
Even
it?
petitioning for the evidence tells you that he doesn't have it.
He doesn't have it.
Well, he doesn't
Not
have
He
to
doesn't
have
have
it
it.
if he knows it exists. That's why you do the petition to get the evidence to use.
Listen, they're gonna make the company pay $10,000 like they do the big companies with a data leak, and they're gonna send them on their merry way. Too much is disrupted. Too much would be disrupted by them even letting Drake find somebody that could spill something
including
that is.
Spotify and all the podcasts.
Yeah,
last
they
few
they
years.
they would come together and jump
Yep.
that boy.
Wait, so y'all think the industry is untouchable then? Y'all feel like it's
That's
no
what I'm
point.
frustrated about.
It's
No
Because we
point
giving
in
them
even
so much
asking.
power.
No.
No.
I don't think it's untouchable. I just think you have to play a perfect game, which is why I'm so mad at him, because he was the only one that could have did it.
He
Well,
needs us,
Joe, let me ask you a
If we
question.
really want him to win this fight, it's going to take you using your voice.
Mhm.
Because you just said it was power in words. It's power in
Mhm.
words. So we keep speaking like he lost before he even fought the fight. Then yeah, he might lose. He need us to back him up.
He
And
lost
Joe,
when he
you
fought
got to be on his
Wilson
side, because
2
this is,
years
like I
ago.
said, this is the
I don't
Well,
ethos
then
of
think
your
maybe
we
he
whole
already
shouldn't have.
lost.
podcast.
We don't want this.
Maybe he
conversation.
shouldn't have shitted on us if he needed us. Then.
Right. We don't want this.
Hold on, I
Maybe
have
he
a
didn't play a
question for
perfect
Mark.
game then.
Mark, I got a question for you. When Mark and I were talking off camera yesterday about CNN and him being a correspondent on there and how it felt to be on TV and what the perception was, my question for Mark is, at a certain point, we all looked at broadcast television like the pinnacle of making it if you're a personality. And you'd be honored to be up there. But as we see, as time goes on, and we see that connecting with your fans directly, building your own infrastructure, your own platforms is becoming more valuable, we're seeing that archaic media, legacy media like CNN, MSNBC, Fox, they're falling off the ranks, losing advertising money, and losing confidence from the viewers. What makes you think Universal and every other major label institution is not losing ground on the independent infrastructures, and they're not desperately clawing at someone like Drake? Because if they lose him, they lose all the consumer and artist confidence in the world moving forward, and eventually they just go down spiraling the drain, losing all their market share to an independent movement.
I think in a lot of ways the is parallel. I just think that I think that potters and YouTube video content makers are ahead of the music industry on this. Not necessarily, calmate, papa, momentito. Not because they're necessarily smarter or better, just because of how the infrastructure is. Like, TV thought it was going to win forever, and then one day they looked around and was like, wait a minute, people aren't watching us anymore. Oh wait, we got rid of Glenn Beck. Oh wait, now he creates The Blaze. Oh wait, we thought we killed Tucker Carlson. He's making more money now than ever before and has more viewers than ever before. Bill O'Reilly, same shit. And I think that with music, there's a lot of the people who have the power, like Joe is saying, the people who have the power to move the thing forward, like the Bill O'Reilly and the Tucker Carlson of music, is the Drakes. But they're still trying to stay on the plantation. And if you start, if until they're ready to make the move, it's just going to be a lot harder. And I hear this is still on the tip of like, well, you know, we think he lost before the fight already started. I think what Joe is saying, if I understand him correctly, and if he is, I agree with him, is that we're in the fourth round of the fight. Drake is just realizing he's in the fight. The time to win the fight was when he was at his peak, when he had the energy and the money and all the things to pull out. It's not impossible to beat the music industry, but you need to play a perfect game ball also you need you
Drake ain't
also need
trying to
mass,
beat the
like,
industry.
you need
He's a
mass
follower.
action and mass organization led by somebody strong like Drake in his prime.
Right.
And I don't know when the next one of them is coming around.
And that's my point, Mark. This to me is no different than the third party fight that we're having with the Democrats right now. As a Green Party member, hopefully you can appreciate this, but that is the equivalent to me of saying the Green Party they might as well give up. They're never going to defeat the Democrats. They might as well tap out. This is the same fight. We can't just give up because it's not the quote prime time. Yeah, the prime time for the third party to rise would have been 2016 Bernie Sanders. I'm clear on that. But does that mean just because they squashed it and he tapped when he tapped, does that mean third party should give up? Or do we have to just keep fighting over what we got? And should Bernie, like, it's the same argument to me. It's the same one.
Let me ask a question to Mark, Ian, Joe, everybody, all the speakers. What percentage of the internet is comprised of dead or fake users that are bots? He is essentially trying to unveil a Ponzi as we're going into a recession.
20 to 30%.
How is he
low
unveiling something he's been benefiting from?
Like, this is a tricky ass game he's playing at a tricky time. And I'm gonna say this too, because I was there when the puff shit happened. Man, there's certain families we can't go against publicly at being black. That's a declaration of war.
Yeah, like I think that Puff had a case with them Ciroc niggas. I think everything he was saying was true. But pow.
Right.
Yes.
I just had
I
a
didn't even
question.
fucking know George Clooney on fucking Casamigos. He definitely had a point.
Right?
I had a question. Hi, Joe. Hi, everybody on the stage. I just had a question. Are we really about to sit up here and be like, Aubrey is the new Martin Luther King? Is that what we're doing?
That's what they doing.
Right. What y'all got going on? Y'all think he a freedom fighter? What the fuck we got going on?
Exactly. I'm hearing Bernie
Sanders. Everybody is positioning him like he's a hero.
He a freedom fighter. Like what we got going on? He is not. Like, come on, y'all.
Right.
Y'all don't think 85% of this is fueled by ego and a sore loser?
Absolutely.
No, wait, Jonah, we're not talking about
Probably
that. That's not what we're talking about.
We don't think that. And that's
Well,
not what this
I do think he has a good legal argument. I just think it's kind of snitching in a way because he's telling on himself. You utilize this. That's how you know that's back there. So to say, hey, y'all can't use this against me. Y'all supposed to use this for me. He's snitching, but that's some
I feel like that's
it's like revisionist. It's a bit of revisionist history.
Yes,
it's a bit of revisionist history. He wasn't benefiting.
He never benefited. This is so fucked up. Like the
no, Ian, let me tell you why I'm calling it snitching. I'm only calling it snitching because I am of the belief that he utilized all these things. All these things that he's calling cheating now, I believe that Drake utilized all these systems for him to win. So if you utilize all this shit for you to win, and then you say, hold on, wait a minute, you can't use this shit for somebody else to win, that's cheating. Then that's snitching to me. You got in the car.
I don't even think this is really his point. I think what you're seeing is very topical. It's meant for people who read through the document to jump up and down about, but the real issues that he's digging into are layers and layers and layers so much deeper than what you could read. And I don't think those two things even lead you to
Ian, that was very vague.
Absolutely.
That was very vague. And I'm the type of person who reads through all the documents. So you're saying you don't think that UMG had agreements with Spotify to boost
UMG owns Spotify. Don't you guys understand that?
You don't think that they made these same agreements to boost with Drake?
Guys, listen to me. UMG and Spotify are one company, even if they're positioned to look like something different.
Yes.
What no one is refuting that. You're missing the point.
But they pick and choose who it is, gets the spotlight and gets the attention, which at any moment.
But when it was him, why was it not a problem when he was the one they chose?
They didn't choose him. Fans chose him.
What?
Yeah.
What? We chose Drake.
Yeah.
I hate the revisionist history. We absolutely did.
This is cap.
I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say
hold
something.
on 1 second. But Ian, can I throw something out there
so
you can answer that while you're speaking? So are we going to, and this is where some of like the conversation gets a bit muddy and it gets we've been tempering delusion a little bit. Do we want to believe that there was not a machine behind the skyrocketing success of some of Drake's releases, especially Scorpion?
Yes.
We
That's
don't think that
Scorpion.
We do we not remember being on Apple Music and going on Spotify and seeing Drake's face on every playlist you can imagine that had nothing to do with his music, and we're gonna say that that was all fan focused and that was not machine driven?
I think Ian is going back to so far gone.
Let me
Okay.
let me
Gotta be, because I remember I was outside, Joe.
No,
I was
Ian, please
outside
answer
during
the
Spark
question.
when
Please answer the
I'm
question,
allowed to
Ian.
respond, I will. Hello? Can I
That
talk?
was fucked up
Go
how you
ahead,
just took
Ian.
that
Go ahead.
pause. Go ahead, Ian. Come
Yeah,
on.
Okay.
we ain't flip. We ain't flip. You can't stun us. Go ahead.
I'm not trying to stun anyone.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Ian.
Okay. Here's my thought. My thought is when Drake became very, very popular and adopted by everyone who loved his music, Apple streaming wasn't even what it was today, what it is today. It was something very different. And Drake was so popular, putting him as the face helped Apple Music. Apple Music didn't necessarily help Drake the way you think it did. I think it's reverse. I think the
Well,
music
I was
consumption.
referencing Spotify.
Okay, Spotify, Apple. I think Drake adds
Okay.
more value to
He
those
does.
platforms than those platforms add to his music consumption.
That I don't agree with that.
I agree
think
with
that's
that.
true.
I don't
Hold on, wait.
1000%.
I agree with that now, but I think the reason why he was able to get to that level of value is because of the way they poured into him
Yes.
before.
That's not
So
true.
yes, that's
That's
true.
not true. What incentive would they have had back then to do that on the
Well,
company
we're
side?
not talking about on the come up, but I do think that there is a level. So for example, a lot of what Drake can rest his hat on has to do with he's been a #1 artist for this span of time. He has not had ebbs and flows in his success because there has also been a machine pushing him.
Absolutely
So that's what I'm.
incorrect. Absolutely
So
incorrect.
there's no machine behind Drake at all from start to finish.
I didn't say that.
Hold on.
So that's what are we talking
wait,
about?
wait.
That's what
Hold
I'm
on.
saying.
So
Can I
wait a
s-
minute. Me and Jonay are on the same side. Can you professionals explain to us
Mhm.
how you're coming to the conclusion that the machine wasn't
Here's what a
responsible?
machine is, guys. Let me break the news to everyone. A machine just means you have a really good team. That's it. Stop with all the bullshit. Everyone
Yeah.
uses this word machine as if it's like this button someone presses behind the scenes, and then all of a sudden your career is magically amazing. That is not true.
Okay, well, Ian, that's not what being said. That's not what's being said. Let me be very clear. So I also was one of the people that read the documents, and one of the things in the petition, Drake mentioned that at UMG there were people that were loyal to him that were fired, and he believed that that had to do with some of the issues behind the scenes. So if he believed that he had a certain level of loyalty and relationship behind the scenes with this giant UMG, what are you saying? I think that's where maybe I'm lost, and I'm okay to learn today, but help me to understand
Right.
if this man is saying, hey, I have a certain level of relationship equity with Lucian, with UMG, I have this deal, I have these people behind the scenes. Those are not created or developed for just to say I have it. He's using that to his advantage for his career, or has in the past.
But that's all we're talking about is his professional career. It's not like that's out of context, and it doesn't make him a criminal. That makes him.
It doesn't. But I think what Elle and I are saying is it's okay when you do it. It's a problem when I do it. Meaning it's okay when you get the benefits of having the relationships and having quote unquote the label connections that would push. Say there was. My thing is okay.
I don't think Drake.
We don't
here's the
think
thing.
that during
Drake
the
has
back-to-back.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but I don't think the issue is what you're saying. I think the issue is Drake's success is truly built off of people wanting to consume and replay his music. What he's pointing at is a falsified sense of popularity that is being perpetuated by certain platforms that have strategic partnerships with the label. Period. That's it.
And I think the same thing happened with Drake. Hold on, let me say this real quick, because Ian, I think you are misrepresenting. Like when I say machine, you doing this kind of, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. It's not just a button. I'm talking about a machine in the same way it's described in that petition. He is describing a machine, some people who conspired together to blow up a song. When you blow up a song like that, it increases the organic followship of the song, because I've heard this song 20 times. Now I may go and play the song. So it's not that there are no organic listeners, but the false impressions is what led to the organic listeners. So what I'm saying is I think that same machine has been working for Drake years ago when before everybody just loved Drake, but Drake flooded the market and you heard his shit so much that Drake became a mainstay. So I'm not talking about a magical button that I think you press that makes everything blow up. I'm talking about the same system he's describing in that petition. So if he benefited from that, which I know he benefited from that, because I remember when everybody
I totally disagree about it. I want to just make a point. When Drake started becoming popular and his music started flying, Spotify was not even a public company, let alone in business.
But why do you keep going to the beginning?
Please, ladies, y'all voices ain't cute. Not when y'all screaming together in unison. Let him land and then attack.
That was hate.
Go ahead, Ian. Land so they can fuck you up.
Ian, you're on mute.
Might be a double mute.
Got it.
Ian, we don't hear you. There you go.
When Drake became popular and his music was being consumed at a level that the music industry had never seen before, companies like Spotify, A, were not only not public companies, B, they were not in business with the labels. They were trying to get in business with the labels so that they can get more of the catalog on their services.
So Ian, I think that's a point that we all are on the same page about. No one is arguing that he had a grassroots level build to his career. No one is saying that. What we're saying, at some point from that point in time to today, he has reaped the benefits of having relationships at UMG and allowing those relationships to push his career. That's all people are saying.
Ian is trying to add very important nuance to that.
But I don't care. But that's not.
Let him do that.
Well, I also can speak, and I wanted to interject what we're saying. So if he wants to add additional detail, that's okay. But you can't refute what we're saying by answering a point that's not being asked. So what we're talking about is at a certain point in his career, he has had the benefits.
Ian, if you could please continue adding the nuance that you were adding, because I think it's very relevant to the points that are being made.
Well, again, I was asking a specific question. So again, Ian, do you believe that at any point in his career, he has had the support of the industry or a machine or whatever you want to consider it? You don't think at any point?
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the industry needed him more than he needed the industry.
Well, let's keep
this version of the industry did not exist when Drake got started. Drake was the catalyst to start this version of the industry. They waited until he had to step on his leverage. This is why they're doing this for Kendrick Lamar right now. This is why the lawsuit is happening. So y'all are arguing that
who is this? Because she's right.
Well, he didn't benefit from it because he created it. They created it on Drake's back. That is the point Ian's trying to make right now.
Okay, and again,
hold on. Let me say something.
I want to say something. Do we
real quick?
Drake
Ian is leaning on, real quick. Ian is leaning on Spotify, and he has a good point of when Spotify went public.
Correct.
But Spotify is not the only thing named in this petition far as tactics to blow up this music. There are other tactics named, shit with influencers, changing the percentages. There's different steps and standards of practice that are explained in this petition. And I'm saying Drake is able to outline those standards because they've been doing that shit for him. That's how he knows what the fuck it is.
You're only saying that because Joe said that. I'm sorry.
First of all, I didn't hear Joe say that, Ian, and I do love how you always go back to Big and Joe up, and because I love Joe, I'm going to appreciate it, but I'm just going to let it roll off my back. I'm saying that because it's my opinion. So I agree with Joe, I guess, but Drake benefited from that shit.
Just so you know, Al.
Thank you, Ian. But Drake benefited from that.
I agree with what Elle said. I agree with what Ian is saying. That's all I got. I agree with both of you.
But I do agree that now Drake is, I think the industry needs Drake, but I think the industry made Drake because they knew they were going to need him.
And
I don't know if I'm wording it the right way.
I have another point here that I think could be helpful contextually. I think Drake is looking at his career as an arc. And I think he's looking at all the businesses that he's helped make public Goliaths.
Facts.
And he's saying, I've had enough. Not only did I bring trillions into Universal Music Group, I helped Universal merge and create an alternative additional revenue stream with Spotify.
That's the house that Drake built.
He helped, and he's also funding whatever other hit artists that are under that label that Lucian.
That's the part where I get a little tricky. I muted the stage. That's just the music business.
Right.
If artist A is keeping the lights on, then yes, artist C, we're running his project with the money we made from artist A. That's been the lay of the land. I'm sorry, I didn't unmute it. Yeah, that's been
I
the
get
lay of
that,
the land.
but what I'm saying is there's a certain point when you don't have to accept terms the way they're presented to you when you are that X factor. And I think he's reached that point where he's like, look, if you quietly
That's
can't
naive.
address what?
Ian,
Wait,
please
okay,
finish.
Ian.
Do not
Finish,
stop.
Ian. Ian,
No,
please
finish the point, because this is progressing.
Yeah, go ahead, Ian.
Mhm.
I think he's reached a point where he sees the kind of intrinsic and halo effect value that he's having on the entire industry as a whole. And he's like, enough is enough. I'm no longer asking you, Lucian and Universal, for some $500 million piggy bank. I want a piece of the house
When I
forever.
fucking made y'all $28 billion.
Right. Give me a piece of the house so that if I never make another record again, you are going to address the catalog and my impact in the industry. Everything I've done musically, halo effect on the alternative businesses, the new verticals I've helped create, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And until that happens, I'm going to make a fucking stink.
And what they did in response, and this is why you get a lawsuit, instead of working with him on that request, they decided to use all these tricks to promote a song, calling him a pedophile, to malign his fucking character and undercut his leverage in that argument. This is why it's a lawsuit.
But can I
That's
ask
the
a
difference
question?
that y'all
But
are
can I
not
ask a
addressing.
question to? Can I ask a question to Ian? So, Ian, you believe that this playbook just was created with Drake? You don't think they've done the same to all of the greats
This
that
has
have made
never,
a fuss?
this has
So that's
never
no,
happened
no, no,
in
no, no,
history,
no. Listen,
ever.
but again,
It's
Ian,
happened to Michael Jackson.
I've let you land several times, but can somebody else land so you can then answer after the point's made?
I just put my seatbelt on. Go ahead, Lan.
Okay. So what I'm saying.
You are so funny. Go ahead.
So what
I
I'm
liked it.
saying,
I liked it.
what I'm saying is, do we believe that the moment that you ruffle feathers at the top, that Drake is the first person to experience that industry then collapsing on him? It's happened to Michael Jackson. What are we talking about? These are the things that have happened to the greats that have spoken out against the machine, quote unquote. I know you guys hate that word, but the machine that they once partnered with. This is nothing new. And I think to your point, if Drake is now saying, okay, this is happening to me, and now I want to flip the industry on its head, I think it is okay for people that are watching and speculating to say, but you're kind of doing it once you've already reaped the full benefit and kind of, drain the system of all of what you could have gotten. Because my thing is, why wait until a certified pedophile line for you to say, okay, it's time for me to be independent after you've just signed this crazy deal and you were completely fine with the benefits until they made you look
But
crazy?
he didn't know.
I understand.
He
Okay.
didn't know until that. He didn't know. He thought that Lucian's my man, the company's behind me, Kendrick. But he didn't know it was like this.
And
Well,
And
I
to
got a
further
separate
counter
question.
that point, does that mean just because he previously benefited, if we're acknowledging this has happened to artists in the past, shouldn't now with the information we have make a better decision than audiences have in the past to
Yes.
side with the artist, to back the artist?
Yes.
Because we've seen how this fight goes. They try to kill him. They call him a pedophile. They do all this stuff to malign his character, ruin his reputation, ruin his income earning potential, all this other stuff. This is the time for us as the audience to get smarter than we have been in the past.
Yes.
Yes,
So wait, Rick. Wait, let me reply to Rick really quickly. Rick, I agree with everything you just said. I want to add, you don't think that would have applied to Drake as well? I said this on the pod. If he knew the fight that he was really up against, it ain't time to fuck everybody's baby mama.
Absolutely.
It ain't time to do all of this other stuff. You fighting the biggest Goliath in music.
No, Rick.
No, I'm not.
We're talking about numbers.
No, Rick, I'm not. You're not listening. I don't care who he fucks, but you got to know who you're fighting. There's no time for this other shit if you're fighting the biggest nigga in music. There's no time for nothing else.
Because I feel like the fight that you describing, it requires somewhat of an underdog positioning. And Drake has made sure not to present himself as an underdog. He's been going out of his way to shit on niggas forever. So
You
if
dangle
been
nothing but
shitting
number
on
ones
niggas,
in people's
shitting on niggas,
faces.
shitting
It's
on
like, what
niggas
are we talking
forever,
about?
Capitalist
you can't then
corporations,
hold
he
on, listen, Rick,
automatically is the
listen, Rick.
underdog.
No, I'm talking about the positioning. You can't shit on niggas, shit on niggas, shit on niggas, and then turn around and say, "Hey, everybody, come with me. We about to bring this shit down because now I'm a victim."
Nope, you on your own.
That don't
You
fucking
on your
work
own.
like that. It
Period.
don't work like that. And I also think y'all misrepresented Drake. Yes, Drake has a market share. Yes, the industry is on Drake's back. But when y'all say Drake, I'm thinking about Drake, the brand. And that brand come with teams, that come with a whole shitload of people who are doing work, making deals in order to make him look good. It's not just Drake himself. It's not just Aubrey Graham himself. He's just so amazing.
but
He's just making these amazing
that.
songs.
We understand
It's not that. It's the
Yeah,
team.
we never
So-
argued that.
Yeah,
Every
we got
so
that part.
team is coming from Universal, so you can't.
No,
then
it's
turn around and
not.
say,
No, it
that's
is
where you're
not.
No,
wrong.
no, no, no,
Okay,
no,
well,
no,
maybe
no,
that's
no.
where I'm wrong at.
He does have
Maybe
his
that's
own
where I'm wrong
team.
at.
They have a team, and he has a team.
And which team do you think is more responsible for the success of Drake? His team or Universal?
His own.
His team. They
Both.
cannot boost bad music. Y'all finna learn this with Kendrick Lamar. They can only do so much if the product is not
Watch
good.
your mouth,
Yo,
Grandpa
this
Rick.
girl is
Yeah, what are we
crazy.
talking
Like,
about?
it's,
Watch your mouth,
Yo,
Rick.
leave Rick
Because
alone.
not like us
Shout to
don't
Rick,
no, don't
yo.
tell us nothing.
Hey.
Ian, mind your business. Mind your
Yeah,
business.
no, because that's another thing that's capped. Trying to act like Not Like Us don't actually
Right,
slap. And that's why
All right, I muted this because we're past a music talk. Who cares what music we like or don't like? It's bigger than that. Go ahead.
how we gonna go ahead if that's what we was talking about?
Well,
Well,
stop
I would
talking
like to
about
ask a
that.
question. Can I ask a
Segue
question? I want to ask a question. So,
I only
do we
brought
feel
that up.
that? Do we feel like Drake is bigger than UMG in terms of
Yes.
impact? Well, let me just finish the question.
No.
Do we feel Drake is bigger than UMG impact, power, and authority within this industry?
No.
And because of AI, no. If I got all your fucking rights and I can repurpose all your music,
They
Thank
don't
you.
have.
So,
They
so
don't have
Ian,
his
so,
rights.
so
They don't
Ian,
have
no,
his
I want
rights.
Ian.
They
Ian,
don't have his
I'm
rights.
telling you personally from conversations I had with somebody in his team who was next to him yesterday. There's a reason he can't walk. Meta offered him $2.5 billion. He can't take it because he can't take all the fucking music. That's why Joe brought up that Masters question. What is the Masters worth if you can't walk out and get what you? I call my guy before, yo, what's up with the Drake shit? Can we? I don't know. I know people around him. Yeah, we offered him too, but can't walk yet.
Let
No,
me
he
help
can
you
walk
guys with
out when the
something.
deal
Though.
is over.
He can't
The
walk
deal
out.
been over.
He may not be
He
able to
still
walk
can't
out,
walk.
but he could do
He can't
something
walk.
else.
They're not letting that kid walk. There's threats on his motherfucking life, like right now.
Anywhere.
They would try to end him. They would rather see him gone than let him walk out
That's
the door.
that's
So
not
then
true.
why make an enemy?
This is why he's
So
a
why
martyr.
make an enemy of a man, a martyr? Y'all are so dramatic.
Wait, am I misunderstanding this?
I
Am I misunderstanding this?
because that's
Hold
what
on.
y'all called him before. But this is
Can
why
y'all
this
tell
is what
me if
makes
I'm
this a martyr-like
misunderstanding this?
fight. Because he
No, it's
can't
not.
just freely walk out the door. They're trying to turn him into a slave and
But
pay him less
he
than what he's
chose
worth.
that.
That's
He
not
chose
right.
slavery.
That
He
nigga
chose
chose to
slavery.
be a slave so he
What are we
can
talking
shit on
about? He
niggas.
chose it.
Y'all still on level 1. Can we bring it up to level 3?
Guys.
I got it. He
No,
cheated
you
on
on
niggas.
level-
He
you on
Guys.
talk
ground
shit to him.
zero.
He fucked
Yeah,
your baby
let's
mama.
go to the
Blah, blah,
next
blah.
tier.
We don't care.
Joe, do the
Fuck
mute
the
thing.
Yo, let Rick land so she could stop telling us we on level 1. Go ahead, Rick.
The level 3 argument here is that yes, y'all are right. He didn't do everything he was supposed to do to get the army behind him. I agree. It was poor strategy. Yes, he's behind on the curve. Yes, he should have been on this in 26. Joe, yes, you were right. You've been arguing this argument on your podcast for 8 fucking years now. You was talking about he should have went indie when he re-signed the deal. We heard it. You were right. Is that what y'all want to hear? Okay, Joe, you're right. But we're here now. It's 2024. They trying to turn this man into a slave after they built it on his back. And if he don't want to be their slave, they're going to turn him into a fucking in the media. That's not okay. We cannot
all right,
let
wait,
that.
this is
The
my
culture should not
Rick.
let that. Because if Drake today is going to be somebody else tomorrow. They're going to do it to Kendrick tomorrow. If they get it off on Drake, then they can get it off on any fucking body. And y'all keep letting them rob us.
But it can't happen to Kendrick. It can't happen to Kendrick because Kendrick's already in the. What you talking about?
Where's
Kendrick
Rick?
would never sign a deal.
I
Kendrick
want to
would
sign.
never
I want
sign
to
a
sign
deal.
Grandpa Rick.
Of course you.
She
do.
over here about to
I
have a
want to
heart
sign Grandpa
attack.
Rick.
You about to have a heart attack over
Oh yeah,
Drake.
now you want to enslave her? Is that
Look
what you're
at
trying to do?
Drake.
What?
Don't
Whoa,
do
whoa,
it.
whoa,
Come on,
whoa.
don't do that.
That was
Please,
aggressive. That
please
was
let's
aggressive.
be into it. Let me apologize
She had a good
for him.
point,
Hold
but
on.
whoa, it's the holidays.
But I'm just saying to the point that Grandpa Rick is making. Okay, cool. But what I'm saying is, nobody else is making those types of deals. People are doing independent imprints already. Drake is the only one in bed the way he was with UMG.
No, he's not.
What?
He got in bed with them 5 years ago. Clearly,
Okay,
we
but
already established he didn't know what he did when he did it. If you listen to the pod today,
Rick,
when
I
he
think
took
you
the
got a bad
400, he
connection.
didn't know.
Can y'all
Okay,
hear her
got it.
clearly or no?
No, I
Not
can
clearly.
hear her.
Yeah, I can hear her. I can hear
Oh,
her clearly.
then
I
that's
can
me.
hear
My
her
bad.
clearly.
Yeah, you guys don't think that Drake isn't fully aware of what can potentially be revealed from this
Yeah,
lawsuit?
he's aware.
He's fully aware of that, so
He's
I think
fully
he's
aware.
willing to take the risk.
And you gotta commend him for that, to know your life is on the line while you fighting this
I
battle.
totally agree. That's the superpower he has, is that he knows what's going on. He has decisions
Do y'all
to
think
make.
there's a way where he still gets his big money from them even during all of this?
Yes.
Never.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes,
Go up
I
there,
think
I'm
so.
gonna be
kiss
honest.
that ring,
They
say
make it
sorry.
easier for you to capitulate than to fight. They're gonna try to. They're gonna always make it easier for you to just bend over before they let
That's
you
the
walk
tricky
out the
part
door.
for me. I
Yeah.
just don't know.
I
But
say they're
I
gonna
wonder how
give
that
him
can
some plus
happen.
some.
But how
When
can
you
that
say big
happen
money,
if he's
another
on?
400 or the 2 billion he's asking for?
But I have a question. How
What
can that
he's
happen
asking for.
if he's doing the whole
Oh no.
payola?
No. Fuck no. Joe
I
Budden.
don't know. I don't get that part.
No. I'm sorry. I misunderstood your question. The answer is no. Fuck no. He's not getting no $2 billion now. Really?
He's gonna
Why would they do that?
get whatever he
Yeah.
wants. I
Not from
guarantee.
UMG.
After he's saying
not
that
from
he
UMG.
yeah,
He's
that's what I'm
getting
saying.
whatever he wants from Lucian. That's a fact.
So, Ian, you think
Oh.
he's going to be able to renegotiate this $400 million deal to a $2 billion deal after this lawsuit?
Absolutely. Because guess what? Let me tell you
Wow.
something. Regardless of what he's saying or what's being said in the media right now, the rights to the music and the income streams that are generated from them are all that the label gives a shit about.
Wait, hold on. Can somebody mute? If you're not talking, can you mute? Because you got a crazy feedback, whoever it is. If you're not talking and your mic is off mute, please mute it. Go ahead, Ian.
How come women being polite sound so sassy and spicy? Go ahead.
Did
Ian.
I sound sassy? I'm sure
Yeah,
so
it's not just you though.
sassy.
It's not just you.
Yeah, because Joe just called me aggressive.
Y'all heard the feedback, right?
I
Y'all
heard
the
it.
feedback, right?
Yeah, he called me
There's too many
aggressive
people
2
yelling.
minutes ago. Oh, Ian, you in this condescending tone. I'm about to
Stop.
I'm about to be on
Stop.
you.
Yeah, I be still in your condescending tone sometimes.
Okay.
Like, calm
But
down.
it's called
Okay.
passion, guys. It's called passion.
I know.
It is.
I know.
It is.
I know.
Sis.
You know,
Right, okay,
I
so
love
I
you
call
guys.
cap on that
anyways.
shit you just said.
What?
I don't think you truly believe that.
Oh, I absolutely believe it.
Me and you
what
do
was the
too
cap?
much business for me to think that you believe that.
Facts.
Joe.
They're not giving him 2 after he filed his fucking
I don't know what
Like,
the
I don't get
number is
that.
because I don't understand the entire asset class that he has that he's offering Universal. But let me just say, whatever he really wants, he is going to get. There is value that is calculated in ways that the general public has no idea how it's done and how they're monetizing off of his music, his market share, his lure to get other artists.
My question to
sign.
you, Ian, because I understand all of that, is, and I'll bring it back to us.
Okay.
We were the hottest thing at Spotify, and then they pushed us down to devalue us while we knew we were still hotter than all of those people. The people that he's dealing with, this is part of his beef, have a large hand in where his value sits.
That's an illusion in my head. Because let me explain it to you. That's what they did to us. And instead of us believing what they told us our value was, what did you and I do?
The same thing I'm telling him to do.
Okay.
Wait, but it wasn't true in your case. So, Ian,
And
maybe
it's not
you're
and it's
biased
not
because
true
of
in
what.
his case. That's
Yes,
the point.
it is.
What's true?
I think maybe you're biased because
He's never going to know, Ian, if he don't go outside.
That's my point.
Right.
What if
the
he's
100 gigs is about?
what if he has already been outside? And what I'm
They
saying,
snatched that 100 gigs off the internet so fast.
It's up right now. Just watching it.
That's why I don't want to hear all that shit y'all say. Oh, he owns it. He does what he wants. No, the fuck
Joe,
he
it's up right now.
No, wait, no, he owns his masters, but he's renting it out. Basically, it's almost like refinancing your house. Like
It is very much so.
refinance. Yeah. So until they recoup, then they don't own it, but they're renting it until they recoup. Am I incorrect?
No, you're
If
absolutely
you
right.
refinance, that means you still owe.
Yeah, he owns the copyright.
That's what he's saying, but he's not getting any value out of it because they still have their hand in the pot. I think that's what she's trying to say.
But he
and he can't change renters.
Exactly.
No, I don't agree.
Ian, I appreciate your optimism.
So, Ian, if you don't agree, then why won't he? We already established that he can get whatever he wants from whoever he wants. So, what's the holdup?
The holdup, there's a couple of reasons. One is at an artist at his scale, you need distribution and the manpower to actually work the assets correctly. And so that only limits you to call it a handful of different partners that you could be with that forget about the money portion of it, but that can handle the scale of your business. The other piece of it is he may own all his masters, but in the moment, he may be waiting for the licensing rights to be up with Universal so that he could take his entire boatload and move it to one place. But the reality is the bigger loss and potential loss for Universal and the major label system is if he starts hinting at going independent, it's more detrimental than him leaving and going independent because of the implications it has on future artists, not today, future artists. That trickle down effect could destroy the exact institution that is UMG today. It may take 10 years, it may take 20 years.
Well, not if they destroy him first.
They're not going to destroy him.
Ian, you're very optimistic, but this does not turn out well for black artists.
Hinting at it is bigger than him doing it.
Yes, the hint is bigger than the action. Yes.
So Ian, can I ask you a question? Do you think that Drake has now ruined it for other big name artists to have a seat at the table because now he's doing an expose?
No, I don't think he. What seat does he have, or is he fighting for a seat?
Yes, he's trying to get
don't
the
believe
seat.
he
They
has
don't
a
want to
seat
give
at
him
the
a
table?
seat. They ruined his character.
That's the point
Y'all
I'm
don't
saying.
think that what? I'm
He's
so
fighting
No, I
for the
don't.
seat.
If
That's
he's
been the
bigger,
whole.
he's
I
bigger.
don't.
That's the whole.
Because when you say,
conversation.
wait, hold on, Jonay. When you say
No,
seat at the table, I think you're
but I
talking
was
about.
asking.
But are you talking about ownership in Universal?
Correct.
Yes,
No, I'm
board
talking
seat,
about
ownership, share, stuff like that.
No,
You're
he
talking
has
about
no
what?
class
Well,
A
it was
shares.
okay. Hold on.
I
Did
already
did
think-
y'all ask Rick or me? Well, y'all
I
asked me
asked
to
Jonay.
clarify what I meant, or what? Okay. Thank
All
you.
I was.
So
We
what
asked
I
you,
was
but we
talking
wanted to hear
about
Rick
was
answer.
Just facts.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
I'm joking. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jonay.
So what I was saying was, when I'm saying a seat at the table, I'm talking about his seat in the table when it's a certain level of a deal and relationship and equity splits and shares when it comes to UMG. So I don't think that Drake has the average deal like an artist. He didn't have the average deal with artists. To your point, Ian, he doesn't have the average deal when he was working with Apple. He doesn't have the average thing with Spotify. Do you think all of those opportunities for him to peek behind the screen are now done because now he's revealing things that he became
Absolutely
privy
not.
to because of
No,
his
he's still
relationship?
gonna have access to that no matter what because he is a one of
And
one.
I say I know he is. I'm saying, will that stop
No,
it for others?
absolutely
is
not.
what I'm
Because
saying.
guess what, guys?
They
If
definitely
that-
will.
oh,
Dog,
sorry.
they killed DEI worldwide. You think they're gonna give Drake a board seat to one of the most important companies in the world? Are they actively
worldwide,
killing
it was
diversity
crazy.
inclusion?
Yeah, and they
Walmart
think
just
yes.
announced they're coming up off their D&I.
That's why.
They
That's
just
why
said
I'm
that.
done
So
having this
so
talk
Ian,
with like just
that's why
casual
I'm glad
music
Black
fans.
Ian just said it. Like the
Oh, they're killing
Ian,
this shit.
the other
they've been
Ian,
stepping
the
on
other
his
Ian is
rollout.
saying my exact
No.
point. Thank
What?
you.
I'm confused. What's the
No,
point?
The other was
No, not
shady.
you. The other
that
Ian.
was.
other was
I
shady.
too am confused.
Come on, I know the other is my guy. It's my guy.
Ian,
But
Black
if they're
Ian.
cutting DEI worldwide, and he talked shit to Lucian 2 years ago, if he was
What does
going to get
DEI
that
have to
equity,
do with this?
The reason they
because
don't
he's
want
asking
him
for
up on that
equity in all
board.
these
Why
deals.
not just say yes to Drake? Drake deserves it.
That
He
is
put
not
in the
the
work.
same
He made the
shit.
money. Just give him what the fuck he wants. No,
It's,
they're
it's
not
not.
gonna give it
It's
to
not
him. No,
about the
why?
money,
deserve.
guys.
It's
This
not
isn't a
about what
money.
you
This
deserve.
is
He
about
wants equity.
power. This is about
Yes.
power. It's not about money. He's got the money. This
It's
is
the
about they
board.
don't
He
want
wants to be.
him.
He wants
Yeah,
to be a member of the board. He wants
that's
to have
right.
shares. He wants all the
Yeah,
things,
that's what
and
I'm
they don't want to give
thinking.
him that because he's black. I'm gonna just
All right,
say
so we
it's
all agree.
biracial. They don't
That's
want
what
him.
We
that's
So
what
all
I'm
that's
thinking.
agree.
fine.
That's what I
Yeah.
It is
agree
what it
with.
is.
I
I
agree
don't,
with that.
and
I
I
agree
also
with
don't
that.
know
That's
if
what I'm
it's race.
saying.
I don't know if it's race. I think
Ian,
it's
you're
just they
saying
don't.
that from a place
Ian,
of privilege.
Ian, what
There
Don't
you
the fuck
attack
are
my
you
go.
dog.
talking
There you
about,
go.
Ian? We're
Come
in
on, use my
America.
black
It's
card real quick.
race.
Can I
Oh
just
God.
finish what I'm saying?
Yes, after we exclaim.
No.
Hell.
No, I can't. I'm gonna get attacked. I'm not
No,
saying
Ian.
nothing.
No,
Go
Ian.
ahead,
I
No,
Ian.
go
was
ahead,
saying
Ian. Go
You'll
ahead.
be all right,
It's
bro.
okay. We
Smart
can do
move.
without it. Because if
Smart
it's
move,
gonna be
buddy.
some
Nah, Joe,
Now,
I've
Ian,
learned my
Ian,
lesson,
you'll
buddy. I've
survive,
learned my
Ian.
lesson.
You
white
don't think it's
explaining, we
about
don't want to hear
race
it.
because of what? How many black people are on the board?
I can't tell you how many black people are on the board of Universal. I'm just telling you that I
Of
don't think
course.
they want. What do you mean, of course? Like, I work
No,
there?
Ian, keep going. Don't get distracted. You don't think what?
Come on, let's be nice. Breathing deep, buddy.
Breathe it out. There you go. Now finish what you were saying.
Ooh, stop.
We here for you.
You can do it, Ian.
I'm rubbing my earlobe. Joe,
Yeah.
Joe, is this,
Rub it.
should I stay away from this show?
Hey, run for your
No,
life.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I think there's a certain type of person that is on the board of these companies, call it Universal Music or the major label institutions or major movie studios. And the second that somebody from a rank below them has the opportunity to come in and take the seat that they occupy, it becomes a threat to them, not because of the money they may benefit from, but because of the decision-making power that they will now have access to. And that decision-making power isn't a threat financially, it's a threat to that person's job who sits next to them. Because what if they find out that the other board members who are sitting there that have been cashing out for decades and decades and decades actually have no purpose and no value other than to be the vultures they may be?
And we know that.
So you think it's a class
what is
issue?
the threat? Why does Drake, this is why Ye talked about this. When they start calling them rappers to put them in their place, that's why they don't want Drake up there. So the reason he's a threat to them because he's a quote rapper. What do you think that's a euphemism
Is somebody
for,
talking?
Ian?
Yes, Rick is talking.
Yeah,
I'm
Grandpa
gonna
Rick
go down
was.
I'm gonna go
God,
down.
I can't hear, but it's fine.
So Ian, you believe it's a class issue more so than a race
I think it's
issue?
a socioeconomic issue more than anything.
Okay, well,
Okay,
there
so
is some
so
intersection.
Ian,
Hold
do
on
you
one
not
second, Jonah.
know? Yeah,
There is some
exactly.
intersectionality with socioeconomic issues and race.
Yeah,
Are you
and
aware of
that,
that?
of course, that I agree with 100,000%, and it could very well be a race issue. I just don't want to jump to that right away. I think it's more of a structural issue and a socioeconomic issue, and we don't give these seats up. It's like a Supreme Court justice. They fucking rule until they're 300 years old.
They don't
It's
want
that
black people
mentality.
either.
I understand what you're saying.
Right.
Ian, I do understand what you're saying. I just always find it interesting how people don't want to do the conspiracy theory with race, but they want to do it with class. I
No,
always
I'm
find that
saying
interesting.
Everything
it
else.
could very well be race. Don't
No,
take it
I
away.
get what you're saying.
Right.
No, Ian, I totally understand what you're saying and why you said it.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
just also commenting that it's always
Mhm.
interesting to me that people believe in the boogeyman of class. We don't want y'all up here because y'all not of our ilk. But then when it's about race, sometimes they're like, well, no, nobody's tripping like that. Like,
Yeah,
it's
you're right.
kind of the
You're
same
right.
mentality.
Yeah, you're right. I just think it's really an insecurity thing. And it's like, if you let someone get that
Mhm.
power that you don't look at as your equal, and then they get that seat, they have the ability. It's really like an insecurity. They look at it and go, oh shit, I could now be removed from somebody I let in.
Right.
Yeah, it's like the cool club.
And let me just say this, Ian. I want to say this though, Ian. I believe, based off of even what people have said, and this is me giving a little bit of credence to Drake, even though I don't do that often. He is the closest person in terms of qualifications, in terms of transcending the industry that we have. And so if they still view him as quite not up to par, then everything that everybody is trying to communicate, I think, is the elephant in the room of why
Right.
not him? Because he has transcended. He has.
Yeah,
the
I can
buying power,
answer
he
why not
has-
him.
Please do.
Go
Easily.
ahead.
Because when it was him, he ran around selling ass and being a work for hire for everybody to milk him dry. And now he's sitting there saying, I'm Drake. And they're like, we finished. We got it. We finished.
Right. They already
You made
mined
all
the
of
gold.
us, you made all of us all the money in the world already. We're done.
He missed his moment on the cap
So
table.
you
For
think
those who
he?
get mad,
Okay.
he missed his moment to be on the cap table.
But I think that would only be true if he doesn't still have some leverage. I still think Drake has superstar power, and if he put
What
out,
leverage do you have?
He
If
What
still-
leverage do you think
But
he has?
super,
He
but a
is
superstar.
Wait, name that-
yeah, superstar
name that
doesn't matter when
leverage,
it comes to
please.
board members.
I am Drake. If I put out a super project, that shit is going to blow. He's still Drake. If he
The
put his face,
Universal
if he
can
put his,
take losses for the next 5 years and watch that money to Spotify, and nobody, because of all the deregulation, no one will ever catch wind.
Yeah, and I think to the point that I was saying is that him saying I'm Drake just makes you a cash cow. It doesn't make you a colleague. And I think his mindset or his team or his strategy, I think maybe that's what Joe might be pointing to. I don't know if that's
No,
what
she's
Joe was
absolutely
but
right.
I think-
And he's the last one to notice. He's sitting there saying, hey, I'm Drake. But they like,
But that doesn't
Like, we
matter when
already
you're talking
fucked
like
you,
that.
nigga.
Yeah, you have to have a competitive advantage to show, okay, I'm also an executive. You can be the cash
And
cow, but you have to have a strategic mind to be an executive and make power moves behind the scenes, which is required when you're having a
But
seat.
and it doesn't help with
disagree
him
with that.
getting into
Well,
it with.
that's what I was just about to say. Well, do all the other people with a seat at the table
There
have
you
that
go.
executive mind and that history of
No,
success like that, or did they just get
no,
grandfathered
because
in?
they do, but we know they do because they're white. There's never this qualifying
Thank
thing. But when
you.
you are a person that's an other, when you're an other, you do have to qualify. There are no qualifiers when you are a person with white privilege in this society. You don't have to
That's
do
true.
the checking
Yeah,
boxes
that's
thing.
true. I want to give context. I think what Joe keeps trying to stress though, try with Apple, they laughed him out the room. But when he had a chance to do so with JP Morgan Chase and Meta and him and Jackman Square, like he's not just doing some of the shit with rappers. That's a whole bunch of tech motherfuckers that hate him too.
I agree. He should.
That deals that he
absolutely.
could have been in on cap tables and equity and got pushed out because of all them fucking interactions.
Guys, I want to say something. Drake, and I'm leaving after this, but I love you guys and I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Drake had a moment where Spotify pre-IPO, Apple streaming in its nascent stage, he could have owned a piece of Apple. He could have owned a piece of Spotify. And he didn't. You know what happened? And this is why he's so angry, I guarantee it. You know who owns a piece of each of those companies now? The labels. They blocked him out of those deals. They got the ownership. Universal
Off his back.
Off of his back.
And he
Off
left
his
it on the
back.
table.
And that's why he's losing his fucking mind right now.
No,
Because
he could have had equity in Coinbase.
all of it.
So both Ians, can I ask y'all a question? Did they take it from underneath his feet, or did he leave it on the table thinking, "Oh, if I'm in bed with them, they'll give it back to me"?
No, he wasn't thinking either of those things. He was thinking, "I want my big check from the label," because he was unaware and uninformed.
Okay, so he's
Well, no,
chasing a
his
check.
team was helping
that
him
he didn't
chase
need
a
it and
check.
it would be available later.
Yeah.
And in business, you learn
That's what I'm thinking, Ian. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that shit ain't
you
guaranteed.
gotta take it
Listen,
then.
I wanted.
That's what
I
I'm
want.
thinking. So
Joe
Ian,
and I.
you're on my brain. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, Joe and I wanted equity in Spotify. Okay, and it wasn't even up on the table when we went in there. They wouldn't even entertain it. We wanted it. We knew they were a pre-IPO company when we first did our podcast the other day. They laughed us out of the room. Okay, knowing what I know now, I would have put my foot down harder and maybe stepped back before I cut a deal, because I know we should have owned a big piece of Spotify for the impact that we made for podcasting. Because what we did was we opened up a revenue stream for Spotify
For them
to
to
not
clean
have
money
to,
from the
labels. Right.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Yep.
And so they
And we
have
didn't
to
know
share.
that play.
And we didn't know
All right,
at that
fuck it. I
time.
want to ask a hard question. Do y'all think it's kind of entitled for? Okay, this might be the wrong room to ask this question, but I'm gonna ask. Fuck it. I'm a G. Do y'all think it's kind of entitled for like talent to partner with a platform and feel like they deserve ownership because they're successful? Like, for example, let's say the Joe Budden Network starts a new show and the show wildly successful. Do you think the people from that show have the right to turn around and say, "Hey, I need some ownership in the Joe
If you
Network"?
ask for it from the beginning,
if they ask for it, and if they're
you
in a
can't ask for it
position,
7 years after it blows up, and now it's the biggest show in
I'm sorry,
Ghana.
other Ian. I'm
NFL.
so sorry, other Ian. I'm not familiar with who you are. I want to answer from the Joe Budden Network, and I know it sounds mean, so please don't blame me. Give me a little grace. Thank you.
Harm.
Ian, good question.
Wait, wait 1 second, Elle. Is she sounding like a robot to just me?
Yes, you're breaking up a lot.
I couldn't really understand the question, Elle, because you were breaking up.
Ian, did you understand my question?
I think I heard a part of it. You're saying if someone helps build something from the beginning and they address it from the beginning and they take care of it, should they be entitled to ownership in it? My short answer is sure. There should
new
be.
show on the Joe Budden Network. Now that show is successful, and now they want some ownership of the network.
Oh, afterwards? They should not be entitled to it. Absolutely not. No. Now, does that mean you shouldn't give that to them? I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying, should they be entitled?
Or that they shouldn't ask.
Should they be entitled? Absolutely not. That word is used way too broadly, and no one's entitled to nothing. There's no entitlement. Work for it, address it, And if it doesn't make sense to you before you start, then you walk away. But if it
Oh, good
does,
question. Yeah. How do you ask for that? How do you ask for equity in an entity that's already successful, but you do have a value add?
okay, you can, and what I want to add to that is you absolutely can circle the block after something has already started and approach that. And there's no guarantee that someone that's in the ownership position will give you what you're asking for. That being said, the way you could ask for it is by saying, look, I see the value I add to this company, this business, this infrastructure that I'm helping build. I want a piece of the pie in a much deeper, more meaningful partnership. What can I do to become an equity holder here and allow the owner of the company to tell you what you could or could not do, and then take it from there. And then
Hey,
you
Ian, the short answer is get lit enough.
And
yeah.
you don't burn bridges on your way there.
Wait, what'd you say?
Yeah.
You got
Thank you,
you got to
Chuzy.
get lit enough. That's it. You got to get lit enough so when you walk in the office, they know what time it is and they know the talk is
Well,
about to be had.
that's true. I agree
They
with
got to
that.
be able to see.
Great answer. Yep.
But Joe, I just want to. Can I say one thing? The one thing I want to say is being lit. It doesn't always get you equity. Being lit may get you compensated, but it doesn't mean you deserve equity.
Whoa. I'm with you on the. I'm not. Nobody's entitled to nothing. He just said, how do you go about proposing that?
You add enough.
And I'm
right.
saying,
Yeah, you're right. If you add
get
enough
lit.
value, yes.
Get lit. You're not trying to convince nobody of nothing. You emailed Spotify in 2015. They ain't no.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I want to ask you, Ian, and Joe, or the other Ian as well. Do y'all think that if we just think about it holistically, this was a smart strategic move for Drake, or do we think it was just the best move he had?
I'm gonna say this and then leave. I think no matter what he did, it wasn't gonna look smart because it's so against people's construct of what is right and what is wrong in our culture. However, do I think it looks like the appropriate time to do this? No, but the answer to that is there's never an appropriate time. When it's right for you, it's right for you. So he may look crazy to everyone else right now, but in the future, you may look at this moment and go, fuck, thank God he did this because it helped everyone. And so let's see what happens. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but if you never try, you never know. And that's the end of it. I love you guys. Have a great Thanksgiving. At 2:00, we're starting Improper Improv, Joe Budden TV, YouTube. We love you guys.
Thanks, Ian. Have a great
Happy
day.
Thanksgiving, brother.
Happy Turkey
Have a good show,
Day.
Ian. Don't try to siphon fans from over here to go watch your shit.
I was trying to, buddy. It's to your
Yeah,
channel.
nah.
I still love
Hey,
you.
have
Okay.
fun.
Okay.
Go eat the pie. Have fun.
It's your channel. Okay, love you. Bye.
I'll be watching. I got 2 phones.
And L, I love you. I'm sorry we got a little head buddy in there, but it was good.
Thank you. No problem, Ian.
No, she does that with white people. It's fine.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
awesome. Okay. Bye,
If you
guys.
know Elle, then you know that she does that with white people. It's okay. Elle is a 5%. I mean, I'm spilling tea. Right.
That's
Each of you. And that was a really good question to ask. And hey, how do somebody even go about asking that? And before you get there, you gotta listen. Now you have the nuts to ask. Niggas don't have the nuts to ask. That's why I keep driving home the point about these check chasers. You chasing the check, they gonna put the little money in your face. Your brain not even gonna think of the other shit you could ask. So no, you got to be brave enough to go in there, stand on your shit, and say, "I want in on that," or I'm out.
That's probably why it wasn't.
Yeah.
That's facts, fellas. That is facts. Now, let's get to the argument, baby. Ceno's in the house. Don't forget to subscribe to the page if you're new here. You're new to the chat. Like it up and strike it up. Let's get to the real talk. Straight up and down. Let's get to what's real. What's real is this. Drake, and they try to make Drake a victim so bad. It's crazy. They try to make him such the victim. Did you hear this? Did you hear this woman? She was damn near crying about Drake. And he's that damn like he's leading a culture, like he's fighting for the artists. He's fighting for his own survival. They're talking like Drake is still the #1 artist in the world. He is not that anymore. And he's trying to say, oh, they're taking it from me. No one's taking it from you. You've done it to yourself. The people don't want to listen to you no more. Your ways and actions have made people not like you. You move like a slime bucket. So if you move like a slime, how you think they gonna treat you? Like a slime. I ain't never seen nobody do so much scumbag stuff and then expect sympathy for it. Creeping in women's DMs, doing all that goofiness. You know, somebody pay you for a feature and then you sleeping with his girl. You know, it's like, dude, you did a lot of things that you would be killed for in certain places. You a scumbag. So a lot of people look at you and say, hey, man, this dude's a scumbag. And he moved like a scumbag. He's not doing this for no culture. That's why I'm like, I'm listening to them talk. And Ian's a manager, but he's got his face all up in Drake's you know what, because of the relationships he's got. He don't even care how stupid he sounds. It's not even about any of the things he's talking about. Drake's bigger than UMG. Really? Drake's bigger than Universal Music. Right then and there, every other word you're going to say after that is completely stupid. He's more valuable to UMG than the label is to him. If that's the case, then why the hell does he take the money? If that's the case, be independent. You're bigger than the label. They don't need you. You see, this is where the delusion of grandeur comes in at. And people like Ian, this is why they're dangerous. Okay, Ian was a manager who didn't have any clout. And everybody thinks because somebody's an industry manager, they got the key and the recipe to everything. They don't. They don't. And he's definitely wrong about this. Oh, in so many ways he's wrong. For instance, if Drake has all this leverage, because he should have went the indie route if he wanted to get what he wanted to get from the industry. But see, here's the thing that people keep forgetting. Drake is a terrible businessman. He did terrible with his contract with Cash Money Records. That was the worst contract in probably the history of music. Drake was signed to Young Money, Cash Money, and then Universal. He was signed to 3 labels for like 6, 7, 9 albums, countless mixtapes. He was getting paid off features. What they're not telling you is Lil Wayne couldn't even pay them because Birdman was not giving them the money. So all the money that Wayne owed them from Young Money, Nicki, himself, and Drake couldn't get their money because Birdman wasn't sending over the money. So all the money that they were supposed to get, the advances from the album, this was delayed Drake's album, all of these things happened under that watch because Universal was like, look, we gave the money to Birdman. Birdman bought a gold-ass toilet with y'all money. So you took care of Birdman all the way up to Scorpion. After Scorpion, you was free. How people forget that? See, they don't want to have this discussion with me because I clean their goddamn clock with all this BS that they pulling. That lawsuit is paper trash. Ain't nothing in there viable. There's no proof. You using garbage from academics' live streams as evidence. That means you got nothing. You would have to explain how it benefited you and go against that. And do you really think the people that cut you checks is finna say, yeah, we screwed up. We're negotiating. So you go ahead and sue, then we're going to sue him. Then you have to prove damages, Drake. You have to prove damages. You have to prove that Not Like Us damaged you. What did you lose, Drake? Oh, my last album, songs I put out, it didn't chart. The people didn't watch it. How can you prove that that was because of Not Like Us? You can't. There's no way quantitatively you can prove that. Oh, they fired some people that were cool with me. Well, why were they fired, Drake? Now that let me guess, they're going to be talking for your benefit, right? So disgruntled employees is the answer. That's the key. Let's get some disgruntled employees out here. Yeah, sure. That is the way to go. Oh, yeah, they're truthful. You see, they're having the wrong conversation because they don't get it. I get it, but they don't. You see, Drake's an idiot. And because he's an idiot, these are the type of things that's going to happen to him. Because he takes the money and then he blows it because he thinks he's going to make it back. He has a compulsive disorder to go ahead and take and take and take. Drake does not have that catalog that he owns. No. You see, they believe Drake is worth about 400 million. But that's only because that's what they anticipate he's worth once he signed his deal with UMG. Now, it's a 360 deal, which means that they're getting paid off of publishing, merchandising, visual media projects, everything. So Drake, if he signed a $400 million deal, right, your net worth shouldn't be $250 million. If you just signed a $400 million deal, your net worth should be that or greater. So why is your net worth $250 million? Because the deal is not for $400 million. It's reportedly worth around that money, meaning that if he hits certain benchmarks, the deal could be worth around 400 million, but it's not because he's not hitting those benchmarks. UMG owns the DSPs. All the digital spins are owned by UMG, not Drake. Pre-2018, The album catalog that was released with Young Money record label is all owned by Universal, not Drake. Now, everything past 2018, after Scorpion, Drake owned. He owned the masters to those, but they're eating off those because he took loans out on those albums. He's in a 360 deal, so they're eating off those. They eat off a percentage, but Drake will own the DSPs for those albums. Certified Lover Boy, Her Loss, all of those things there. So if you're all getting the picture now, so all of his classic songs that he's already made in his catalog, UMG already owns. God's Plan, Nice for What, all of the songs that were the biggest songs he ever made. Hotline Bling, he doesn't own those songs. Universal does. You was signed to a nigga that was signed to a nigga who said he was signed to that nigga. He's screwed. And he wasn't as rich as he made it out to be. He had money and he had access to everything, but everything I told you is contingent on his popularity as a rapper. Once that go, now he's doomed because he was living on a loan. Imagine if you was getting money every month so you could cover, you spending though, you're not saving and you keep spending it. But the money is not guaranteed every month to be the same thing. And then all of a sudden, now the money's less. But you have a spending habit problem that's pretty high. So you got to curb your spending. So you have to curb your enthusiasms. He can't do that. This man spends millions and millions a month just on nonsense. This dude buying stuff off, going to auctions, celebrity auctions, buying stuff. He's buying art. Don't even know the value of it that he's buying. But all of this is contingent on his rap success. Now he knows this party album he's going to drop is going to flop, and this is going to mess up his 360 deal. Because now your net worth is dropping because you're not packing them in like you used to, champ. And you want to say, oh, that's because they're sabotaging me and they don't want to, they're holding me back. They don't want my album to go nowhere. Oh, no, don't make the excuses before the album drop. You're Drake, remember? You're going to go number one. You're going to do all this and you're going to do that. No, that's why you're going on tour. Because you got to make some money back. UMG is going to eat off that tour because you got a 360 deal. So the t-shirts, the merch, all of it. You're going to be on tour all this year in 2025, Drake. Because that's how you're going to eat. Because you got a lot of mouths to feed and a lot of property you bought. Welcome to the rapping game, partner. Welcome to the rapping game. See how it works? Nobody gives a damn about your situation. I tried to tell these people, man. It's up to you to want to listen. You know, that's the thing. I tell it to y'all, but y'all think I just hate Drake now. So no, this is a realistic approach. Kendrick Lamar told you in the rhyme when he didn't have his business together, when he was with Top Dog, he was signed to a bad contract that had Aftermath in there with Dr. Dre and all of that. Dre came in and it messed up everything. He didn't have his business in order. And he's seeing that he's paying Dr. Dre, and Suge Knight was right when he said The Game and Kendrick Lamar have a bad contract. They did. He had a very bad contract. So all the hit records, Pimp a Butterfly, Good, Mad City, all of that, he had to go to court. He had to sit out after the damn album and say, hey, man, I'm the #1 rapper in the world. Why am I broke? Like, why do I don't have the money I should have? So Kendrick had to do everything else off the scenes to get his money. And then he started making more for features. Now his business is straight. That dude makes so much money hand over fist, is crazy. You barely seen him. He made more off Mr. Morale than he did off the damn album, To Pimp a Butterfly, all of it. And you just didn't know. Most of y'all didn't even play Mr. Morale like that. And he made more money off of that album. The international tour, everything. Rappers get paid off features. See, features will pay you more than an album. Especially if it's a hit. See, Drake was eating off features. That's what's keeping him alive. So when he was doing all those features and he was getting his requests and his, man, 250, 500,000, he was getting all kind of money just off of features that was keeping him afloat. Then he takes the big bulk of the money. This is why he didn't go independent, because he couldn't afford to go independent. See, this is what Joe Budden and Ian is not telling you, because they're lying to themselves. Then why didn't he do this? The reason why he didn't, and he took the bulk of the money, he couldn't negotiate for ownership because he wasn't in a position for that. He wasn't positioned. He was in a position of, this is my net worth, this is my value, I'm going to take the money. I'll sign the 360 deal because I can make that back. I'm Drake. I'll keep making the hit records. What's the main problem that they got on the docket? It's clear. The main issue that they got on the docket, that's clear, that everybody can see with their own two eyes, but they're trying not to accept it, is the fact that they're stuck in a matrix. They're stuck in a situation they don't want to believe. That's what the problem is. They can't. They can't believe it. They don't want to believe it, y'all. See that? Y'all hear me? They don't want to believe it. They're going to keep lying to you because they don't want you to believe it. Drake got to be the richest rapper in the game, right? That's the only way it works. If Drake's the richest rapper in the game, you got no choice but to believe him, right? That's the only thing that makes sense. They don't want it no other way. It's Drake or nothing. Drake did a double CD so he could get out of his record deal with Cash Money and Young Money. So Lil Wayne couldn't eat off him no more, and neither could Birdman. Now, he signed an even worse deal with Universal, because what Drake is thinking, okay, when it's time to re-up, I'm going to get another check for another $400 million. And they're going to have to re-up again. And this time it's going to be $800 million. I'm going to have $1 billion deal. No, you're not. And he think they're sabotaging him for his reinvestment. No, they're not. Your music has become stagnant. You're not making good music. And this is what Ian and this is what Joe is missing out on, or not really saying it. Ian trying to avoid the situation. The music isn't connecting like it used to because he's running the same playbook over and over. The rendition is getting tired. It sounds like the same old, same old. So why do they want to invest in it? So the Kendrick battle was a chance for you to strike back and show that you still Drake. That was the biggest attention you got. And you fumbled the ball. You fumbled. Because it got you back rapping again. You was out here making the same type of records, sounding like everybody else. You trying to sound like 21. You trying to sound like Thugger. You trying to sound like everybody else except for Drake. Now you want to go back to being the singing nigga. You can't go backwards, dog. But now you want to make that commercial album again because you know you done screwed up. Yeah, now that's why he cut the hair. He don't want to be a thug no more. You done cut the braids. Was it at the braids? Hurt your feelings? You don't want to work with me no more? Okay. You thought the No Face record was going to get you back. Then you put out 100 gigs worth of trash. And you mad that Universal did not go after Kendrick Lamar for you. That's what he's mad about. That's why he had the thing plot twist. And he would start releasing music as if he had the right to do that. Because he think, oh, I own all the music now. So I own this. It's me. I can do what I want. No. You got a twist. As long as you got their money, homie, you don't know that they own you. They get a percentage of that music. So they have the first right of refusal to say, hey, you can't put that music out. You under contract with us. Yeah, you might own the music, but we paid you money. So you got to recoup. You were on a Lucian loan. Y'all thought I was joking. You see, Universal took that damn thing down, didn't it? Because they have the power to do so. So right now, they're in control of the DSPs. This is what Kanye West was telling you. You on that Lucian loan, boy. Oh, Academic's already trying to jump off the ship. He don't want to be there. He want to be over there with Kendrick at, because he know that's the move he always make. When everybody fall, he gonna be there when you fall. You gonna fall down and he gonna step right over you. When Drake can't get no attention for his songs no more, that chump is gone. Because I told y'all what was gonna happen. when you're not as rich and you're not as popping as everybody thought, reality comes out. Now everybody's like, oh, well, damn, I never expected that. Why wouldn't you? Drake will learn. When it's all said and done, he gonna learn. He's not gonna beat. He's not gonna beat the Universal Music Group. That was the dumbest thing I ever heard. How he gonna beat Universal? He ain't talking about he's bigger than the label than the. See, this is what I can't stand, is that these people tell millions of people the wrong thing because it fits their agenda. As if rap is the top generating money in the whole world. It's not. That's the sad part. It's not. Rap is not the rap it used to be. Kendrick Lamar is the only thing that putting rap right where it's supposed to be again. He's writing the shit. Why? Because he's being creative. What hip hop was founded on. Everybody else was doing, here we go, loop-de-loop. Here we go, loop-de-la. Right. Everybody is doing the monkey see, monkey do routine that they've been doing, saying, hey, it sounds like the Migos. Everybody want to do something that sound like it. I told you that. Everybody back there was like, man, I got this beat that sound like the Migos track. Then why are you happy about that? You should go right back to the lab and come up with something else. I mean, he's done. Well, Joe says things for attention. Okay. But what this lawsuit did was put him in a box where he ain't going to be able to recover from. Oh, without a doubt. Even some of Drake fans were sickened by his.
I don't know who's been in Drake's corner giving him advice recently, but that person is an op. I am a huge fan of Drake's music. Like, I'm going to put on Drake's music before Kendrick Lamar's any day. But at the end of the day, Kendrick Lamar won the beef. Kendrick Lamar's album is good. Kendrick keeps on putting out hits. Kendrick is going to be performing at the Super Bowl. But at the end of the day, Drake is Drake. And there's a lot of people like me who would rather listen to Drake's music than Kendrick Lamar's. Does he not know that he's Drake? Like, do you see Beyonce responding to every single controversy that involves her? No, because she's past that point. The best thing Drake could have done in this whole beef scenario is practice silence. He tried. He put out his little songs. The songs were pretty good, but nobody cared. None of the songs are touching Not Like Us. I remember a time when I used to have to defend my favorite basketball player, Steph Curry, because no matter what he's done, he's changed the game. Like, he's won championships. He's that guy. But nobody believed that he was really him because he never won a finals MVP, and everyone thought he had to be on a super team, and he was getting carried all the time. But with Steph going on every podcast, doing every interview, defending himself on Twitter, no. He went out, won a finals, won the finals MVP, proved himself, and shut everybody up. And now everybody's like, okay, Steph Curry is him. Night, okay. If Drake would have just shut up and let us miss him, okay, let us be like, all right, bruh, the beef is over. We need new Drake music. No one would care anymore. It's like when your mom used to tell you if people are being mean to you or people are talking shit about you, don't respond. They want an answer. Most of these people that Drake is beefing with, their biggest hits are with Drake. That speaks for itself. He didn't even give his fan base an opportunity to defend him. Because every time I catch myself defending Drake, well, I mean, most of their biggest hits are with Drake. So Drake goes and says something stupid that I can't defend. You're about to be 40, sitting up on a stream talking about turn that guy's music off. This guy is a fragile op. Like, what are we doing, bruh? Because if it's just about the music, Drake is going to win that battle. Nobody ever wanted to like him. He's always been the corny light skin that was always crying from Canada. But no matter how big you are, people are going to hate you. People hate Taylor Swift. People hate Beyonce. People hate Drake. It's just a part of the process. What does Drake have to gain from suing Kendrick Lamar? He's Drake. He doesn't need more money. He doesn't need more popularity. What, you need more streams? Like, he doesn't need that either. Everything Drake has done recently has been a bad PR move. Every time he talks, it's just reminding people of why they don't like him. Go put your toes in the sun somewhere, get off Instagram, let the world miss you, and release music in like a year or something. What are we doing?
Now, exactly when you heard that, right, she's a Drake fan, but she's superficial. But she had the one point that made sense. Let the people miss you. Then I tell you that's what he should have did. And I said, man, Drake, you should have let people miss you. Disappear for a minute. But he didn't do it. It was clearly the right decision. Step back. Let people miss you for a minute. Then come out with your heat. But he could not accept defeat like a man. He did it like a punk. He wants to blame people because the song is so hot and he knows it's a monster. And he's trying to act like it isn't. Like that's going to make the situation better by acting like it isn't, lying, talking about, I fed you the fake information and you ran with it. You fell into the trap. You did everything like a corny bozo. And I don't know what she's talking about. Drake make better music than Kendrick Lamar. It's like, no, he doesn't. I already told you, Drake music is like cotton candy. It's entertaining, but nothing with any substance. And she seems like somebody who likes commercial hip hop. And, you know, she's a Steph Curry fan. I'm like, she was Steph Curry when they were winning in championships. That's when she was a Steph Curry fan. Other than that, you can forget about it. She was not no Warriors fan. So she's like a typical. So he had to go out and win it and prove that he's him. No, you believe that he had to go do that to prove a finals MVP. He didn't need that. He's Steph Curry. So it don't even goddamn matter. Long as he has that championship, that's what mattered. Now, getting more into the grease. That's what we need to do here is get into the grease. Said scenarios never change. No, it's not gonna change. Y'all can't save Champagne Sloppy. He did everything sloppy, and he doesn't have a right team in front of him. And this is why he's in a bad contract. This is why he's making bad decisions. I don't know who's negotiating his deals, but now Drake's gonna have to be performing on stage till he's 50. Right. Look what you did to Party Next Door. Party probably was excited, like, finally, I got some attention from Drake. Because what Drake artist that he has under OVO that's doing anything? They all there to pump him up. That's why I don't like signing to artists, people who are performers. You know, if you got a label and you retired from the music business, then that's something entirely different. Then we could talk. But everything else just sounds ridiculous. Oh, this is a negotiational ploy? Buddy, you just bumped your head. Because Universal's not even going to take you seriously, to be honest. Why would they? I wouldn't take you serious. I would look at you as a straight clown. Every time you even try to utter any type of word like, I'm about to do this and I'm about to, no, sorry. We don't take you serious. No, well, you can't. If you want to be taken serious in this business, buddy, you're going to want to come in with an open mind. You're going to want to come in. Hey, the truth is cooking them. Drake can't do the things that they think he can. He's not as rich as these people think he is. I tried to tell them, they think I'm just hating on Drake. No, not hating on Drake, just telling you the truth. He ain't Poe, but that damn plane, that damn Drake plane ain't been flying for a minute. That Drake plane been sitting out there, ain't got no gas in it. That thing been sitting down there just like, we got to sit here. Rick Ross was right about one thing. That's a goddamn cargo plane. That ain't no G4 flying up in the sky. That's a goddamn old-ass cargo plane that you had them put the Drake paint on there. But that thing got to get maintenance every month. You got to pay for the docking of the plane. You got to have a wing to be able to keep the plane in. Yeah, you got to pay that. It's expensive as hell to have a plane. Well, yeah, it's written off as a business expense every time he flies, but hell, you still got to pay that. Still got to pay that out. They'll learn one day. Oh, yeah, definitely hit the like button. Kendrick Lamar is moving the needle on his own. So here's the thing, these jackasses. He just put out GNX. GNX Drake eliminates your goddamn argument. I hope you realize this. Well, see, here's the thing about GNX. When the Grand National came out, it came out the year Kendrick Lamar was born. That was a car that his father owned, and he had a remote control version of that car. So when you see the video squabble up and you see him, the little kid with the doggone 6-4 and he hitting the switches and making the car bounce, that's what, like him when he was a little kid sitting there with he wanted that Grand National. That's all he ever wanted was a black Grand National. So I understood it. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. GNX, all the different meanings. Generation X. He's Generation X, baby. And that Grand National, that era of music. That's why it was like the bop. Everything in there. He used the Spanish, everything, all this so LA. So everything was going back to what his childhood era. So that's why you hearing like the old late 80s, early 90s sound. All I ever wanted was a black Grand National. I'm mad. Somebody got to do it. And not enough. They talking all that shit, it ain't enough. Drake talking all that bullshit, it ain't enough. I'll make Drake mad. Drake can't leave. That's why I was like, if I was on that panel, Joe Budden, them, they know they couldn't run that. Ian couldn't run that. Because it's already known. That's already public record. They was like, oh, they doing a massive negotiation. They ain't gonna tell you what it is because they don't want nobody to know because these other artists, no, they want you to know. Believe me, what is Ian talking about? These young girls, that's gonna mess up the whole pool if they announce what Drake's really gonna get. Then if that was the case, they wouldn't have addressed that he made the $400 million when they did. That makes them look big. Because if they ain't at Drake level, they can want something all they want. It don't mean they gonna get it. No, they want to announce those big numbers from their main artists. So they can say, look what they got. You ain't putting in those numbers. If you want this kind of money, you put in Drake kind of numbers. They want to set the bar. But they damn sure gonna brag that they signed a big deal with a major artist. What is Ian talking about? That is stupid. A dumbass analogy to try to protect Drake and make it look like, oh, no, they're going to do it. And it's like, it doesn't make any sense. What artists don't want to do that? They want to go public with their deals to show, like, look, we paid him this. He got this with us. Janet Jackson got her deal. Michael Jackson said, let's wait till Janet, they announce Janet deal, then I'll announce mine. I don't want to overshadow her deal. Because he already knew what she was going to get. He didn't want to, when she got her major deal and Michael Jackson came out with his deal, he was like, well, I didn't want to overshadow you. I knew what you was going to get. They announced big major artists' contracts. They love the publicity of it. Jay-Z, you think they love to announce what Jay's got. Beyonce just signed a $400 million deal. They announced these things. When did they ever say, whoa, it's going to cause an uproar because now these guys are going to want what they could want all they want. They can get mad, kick over something. Do you got the numbers they got? No, then shut up. Now, you want to get that? As you can see, we paying people over here. Yeah, I see that. Well, all right, then. Get yourself together. You want to get paid, right? Well, this is what you got to do. If you wants to get paid. So that's what I'm saying. And Ian is Joe Budden's manager. And I'm like, Ian, you a manager. You know better. You know better than this. But you ready to kiss Drake ass so much that you would sit there and falsify numbers. You done went to that extreme. You stooped that low. How many of y'all excited about Drake's new album Apart? I know I'm not excited about it. I don't know one person that was looking forward to this album. This was not what the public wanted. This was not what they were supposed to get. They were supposed to get a Drake album. Drake was supposed to come out in the summer, and he disappeared. That album was pushed back. I was the one to tell you, hey, Lucian done pushed his album out because this is not for this going to flop. They tried to protect you from your flop. You was ready to put the album out, and they were like, nah, this Not Like Us is a monster. You might need to hold off. Good is good and great is great, but when you see something that doesn't need any more, they trying to act like we like the song because they pushed it on us. Nobody really like Not Like Us. That song was a monster the moment it came out. And as for defamation, you're gonna have to show where you was defamed. What did it cost you, Drake? Somebody liking the song, you can't prove they liked the song because it said you was a PDF file when the song never said that. Song never said. It might have alluded to something like that, but it never said it in legal terms, buddy. In legalese, you have no case. Did he actually say that, sir? Well, he implied something similar. Implied and saying it is two different things. He might have applied it, but he never said it. So your case falls on deaf ears. You have no case. Kendrick was very smart and selective in how he did the process. And it was genius. Yeah, he knew. He knew not to do what they thought he was going to do. He said, oh, I know, I get it. Right, he knew. Man, Kendrick knew 100% what the situation was. He knew exactly how to word it. That's somebody who got a plan. That's somebody who knows what they're doing. And you the one talking about some, oh, no, you following through. Okay. He followed through, and now you run into the damn lawyers. We waiting on you. I'm on the loose. Now you got lawyers on the loose. Mm-hmm. Now, they petty with it. They don't want to debate or go through it. It ain't about can Drake come back. Drake can come back. He could make another hit. Didn't make another hit. Nobody is here taking away Drake's ability to make records. If Drake feels he got the ability to make hit records, then do so. But bro, I know what the situation is. You can't fool me. You can fool everybody else, but you can't fool me. You can't fool me, dog. I've seen this game. There's been other artists in this game outside of Drake that have signed bad deals. Lil Wayne, right? Biggest artist in the world. Hell, he signed Drake and Nicki Minaj. That was the only thing keeping him afloat because he wasn't making no money off his own albums because he was in a bad contract. So he decided, I'm not making no more albums. He was getting more money off of mixtapes. And everybody was like, man, this mixtape is hotter than your album. You know why? Because he cared more about the mixtapes. The Drought, 2 and 3. That's why it's such a big gap from the Carter 2 to the Carter 3. And Birdman was giving them peanuts. Like, yeah, take this, Pink Playboy. I'm gonna give you the rest when it come on in. Because he was doing the same stupid thing that Drake is doing. Spending the money as if it's all gonna come flying back. Let's just spend it like crazy, and we'll just keep making it back. Didn't think things was gonna shorten up. Here is something that Ian don't seem to understand, as he keeps talking about Drake catalog is this, Drake catalog is that. They already own Drake's old catalog. They're not worried about it. They're not worried about what they own. What they see is what y'all don't see because y'all are stuck on fandom. When you're a fan and you stuck on fandom, you can't see the reality that is in front of your eyes. Honestly, Nevermind was a loss of money. Okay, that lost money. That did not make money for them. They didn't advertise as much. They didn't market it as much, but they still lost money. They lost money. They lost money on For All the Dogs. For All the Dogs didn't do what they thought it was going to do. And you know what Drake had to do? He had to go to work. Drake had to go on tour for damn near a whole year so he can make some money, because that album didn't make any money. They had one song that performed, and that was First Person Shooter. Other than that, that album didn't make any money. All them songs died out. First Person Shooter, and I think they had like maybe one other song that stayed in the charts. That's not the usual Drake numbers. You see what I'm saying? Now you starting to get the picture. He was already on the decline before Not Like Us even hit. So that's why I keep trying to tell people they were already on the decline before that even hit. So Universal sees the numbers. So they already seeing Drake is on the decline. And then when this whole rap battle hit, Not Like Us hit, Drake fans are mostly casual fans. Like you just heard that lady. I don't always choose Drake's song over him. Most of them are casual fans. They're just fans. They're just fanning over him. They don't care about the song as much as they care about him. So they're fans, but they're casual. They're not dedicated fans to the art or the music of the song. They're just there as long as Drake is popular. They like Drake because Drake is popular. He has the popular hit. What happens when Drake isn't popping no more? What happened when Drake is not popular no more? The popular person is Kendrick now. They're going to jump off the boat. They're going to desert him. They're going to be like, ugh, Drake is lame. Yeah, he's so played out. He's trying to do this and that. That's what they're going to do. Yeah, Kendrick's right. Drake's not like us. He's not like us. And then all the goofy stuff you did online with all these young teenagers and all that goofy stuff, it all comes into play. So, of course, they would believe it because they have visual aids to it. It ain't just somebody saying something. So now they're going to really ask the questions. Like, they're going to be like, yeah, I think it is kind of weird and creepy. Why is he on this weird site talking to teenagers and young kids? That's just sick. So you make yourself look like a doggone weirdo in a PDF file. So you made yourself look like that because you're on this goddamn app with this girl. So you gave off the vibes of it. You did all that yourself, homie. So now you gave them the visual aid to go along with the song. So people looking at you suspect because you was doing suspect shit. It ain't no name of the game. They know what it is. They only care about them spins. Universal cares about the money. And right now, Kendrick Lamar is the money, and they're not interested in messing up the money because of your feelings. I thought we were friends, Lucian. Friends? What have you done for me lately? That's how Lucian looking at it. What have you done for me lately? I'm not just going to keep giving you money. First, he was like, yeah, Drake can have as much money as he wants. Whatever Drake wanted to get. And that's how Drake looked at it. Like Kanye said, he got a rich baby daddy. Ain't Lucian. Drake got a rich baby daddy. Well, if Universal wanted to, they'll make it everything real complicated for Drake. Let's say Drake, they want to use Drake's song for a movie. Drake said, okay, cool, I agree. Universal got to say, we agree. If Universal said, nah, we don't agree. They was like, it's going to make you money. Nah, we cool, we don't want it. But I want this. Well, we don't agree. We think that it's not going to benefit us. Guess what? Drake's song can't be used. Yeah, well, you got to be able to prove defamation of character. Defamation of character has to be proven. You see, do y'all remember Gilbert Arenas filed that defamation lawsuit against me? And well, he didn't file it. He threatened to hit us with a defamation and sent that letter from his lawyer to us. You remember when Gilbert Arenas sent that to me and Kwame Brown? And y'all was like, oh my God, he did that. Y'all are gonna lose. Gilbert's gonna get everything. Oh my God. Cino, it's all over. I'm like, oh my goodness. And Kwame came out and apologized, and then I came out and apologized. I wasn't even in the video. And I apologized. Why did I do that? Why did I suggest to Kwame we do that? I was like, you know what? We're going to apologize. Yep, because he ain't going to expect it. It's going to mess up his whole story that he made us do it. He was like, it's got to be to my liking. Nope, no, it don't. I didn't even have to apologize to him. And he was like, I guarantee you I could put this out and I would win. You won't win because you have to show damages. See, if they say, okay, you're defamed, what was the damage? What is Drake going to say his damage is? as this lawsuit said, the damage is done. What's the damage then, Drake? Because you, according to everybody, you're doing just fine. Right? You're unbothered. I was with Drake. He was unbothered. Everybody talking about how unbothered you are. So if you're so unbothered, where are you? Mr. Unbothered? Drake would have to prove Not Like Us has damaged him. And they're going to say, well, how do you intend to prove that? So now he's got to prove that because the song alluded to him being a PDF file is the reason why he's tanking. What is the proof of that? You don't have any definitive proof of it. So it's all circumstantial because it's all what you believe. Doesn't make it actually true. It's not quantifiable. If Drake tried to sue the NFL, they would laugh all the way to the bank. Right. You pull a move like this, what do you think that's going to do for your next album? This is your rollout for the You and Party album, is you finna sue people. And you think that's going to make people want to listen to you? Really? If I'm Kendrick, when you drop, I'm dropping. I'm dropping the deluxe album. It's going to be the part 2, the next part of the album is coming out. That's what's happening. I'll be, yep, next part of the album is dropping right now. They're going to be, what? Yep. Blow you right out of the water. J. Cole released something the same day Kendrick came out. I still haven't heard it. That was a very bad decision on his part. I know. Ian was an idiot talking about Drake is bigger than UMG. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. How are you going to be bigger than the person that's loaning you the goddamn money? I'm like, do they not know Universal Music Group is powerful? Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, pretty much. Just snacking on some leftover Thanksgiving food. Drake did good battling Kendrick Lamar. That's the only reason his numbers individually was doing well. When he had Family Matters, and then he put out the push-up song. The Hard Part 6 died on a vine, and everything else after that went to the toilet. Every song he kept putting out made him look worse as he jumped on everybody else's song, doing features. And none of the songs were good. It was just like Drake's on a song. The one because Not Like Us came out, the songs just weren't good. Yeah, that's what it was. There's no mystery to it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Drake got mad at Timberland, unfollowed him.
Levels to this. I almost would have respected it more if he would have did this 6 months ago when it actually happened. Why the fuck is this happening 6 months later? We know why. Because he was trying to find a way to dig himself out of this hole that Kendrick done stomped him into. You know what I mean? And every single tactic that he tried, nothing worked. Everything failed. You know what I mean? So 6 months later, he's finally come to the realization that, damn, man, like I'm really like my aura is at a negative right now. Like ain't nothing hitting for me. Like my golden touch is gone. Like I got to do something. So might as well be shit. Tap into the white boy that you are and lawyer up. Might as well. You know what I mean? All the graces that we've ever granted Drake, all gone, absolutely gone. No more bail, no more nothing.
All the whispers is that Drake wants to go independent, right? But he can't go independent until the company has recouped what they put in. So in his mind, I'll never be able to go independent if the company that signed me is also assisting in keeping me there, because I'll never be able to recoup if this guy has deflated my value. Because that's really what the lawsuit is about. Drake feels like Not Like Us has deflated his value and his impact on the music market. He's mad because he felt like the parent company assisted in his demise in a backdoor way to keep him on the fucking label. Because we know if he ever goes independent, he will be the biggest free agent in music, not rap. Music, right? We understand all of that shit. The issue is, and people keep trying to talk around it, and niggas like Maul, I want to read this tweet. He says the petition has nothing to do with the battle. It has everything to do with the business, but it's cool to hate Drake these days. And Maul is the integrity guy. He's always talking about integrity. And it's like, you're not gonna insult our intelligence. If he like Baylor said yesterday, if the roles were reversed, would Kenny do this? Even if the facts were what they were? No, because of integrity. You got in the ring, you did what you did, you said what you said, and in reverse, bro said what he said. So now you throwing litigations, and it's like, oh, he's not suing Kendrick. If you're suing the label that supported the song made by Kendrick Lamar, whether the paperwork says UMG or not, you're indirectly trying to knock the impact of Kendrick down. If you can't see that, then you just don't want to.
Mm-hmm. And on that note, we are out. Thanking you. Subscribe to the page. Hit up the Patreon. And we are ghosts.
Hi, I'm Karceno.
Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Karceno and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest